This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good evening and welcome to the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show. I'm your host, BA. I'm here along with Bo Crouch, Keith Engel from GGI Sports Talk, and Herb. What's going on, guys?
Hey, who's the guy with the Diablos hat in our opening? Because
he's missing in action. I don't know where he is anymore. He's somewhere. I don't know what's going on.
Is missing. We need to put an Amber Alert out for him or something.
Like I said, milk cartons on the floor. Yeah. Anyway,
him doing work, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Where's the dedication?
He gets a promotion. He has to work more. I don't understand that. I thought when you get a promotion, you work less. I'm not understanding that whole thing.
I'm working less to try to get a promotion. It's not working out.
Yeah. That's how it works. So in the world of sports, both Seattle Mariners are taking on the Toronto Blue Jays this evening in Game 3 of the ALCS. Mariners are up 2-0 on those Blue Jays. The question I want to ask Keith, though, is how is it that Mariners are kicking Toronto's butt and the Yankees couldn't do that? What's going on, man?
It's football season. I don't talk baseball now. It's football season.
There you go. I know I like Keith.
I think we had trouble with the Blue Jays from April on, so October is no different. And I said both Seattle team, and I've been getting beat up on my own shows from some Dodger fans that I said their pitching staff is as good or better than the Dodgers, and I still stand by that.
Yeah,
Gilbert pitched. Well, they had a great game one out of help me out, Bo. Miller pitched game one. Gilbert has to pitch 3 innings, I believe 3 innings, and really Friday comes back on Tuesday and pitches really, really well after getting off to a bad start. Well, he pitched okay after getting off to a slow start, and the bullpen picked them up.
Yeah,
this team is they're well put together. It's a well put together baseball team, which the Yankees have not been for about 2 decades.
Yeah, well, one thing that is interesting is yesterday's game or day before. Whatever, game 2.
Monday. Mm-hmm.
Vargas went in there and he pitched and he didn't get shelled. That's a win in itself.
Well,
he is such a major hole in our bullpen, and he actually had a good couple innings, which is the first good couple innings he's had in a month.
Bo, you got to agree with me. After having to win the division series in 15 innings Friday night, to come back and be able to win 2 on the road,
honestly,
you can't ask for anything better than that.
If we had normal rest, I wouldn't have guessed that we were going to take 2 from Toronto in Toronto, especially the way that they beat up on New York. I mean, those first 2 games against New York, they put up 24 runs.
Oh.
I mean, it was insane. So yeah, I didn't have leaving Toronto 2-0 on my bingo card. I was thinking best case, we're 1-1. You were going to have to steal 1 from Toronto for sure. But I was like, okay, we're probably going to play really good at home. And then, we might split with them there. And so, yeah, for both away teams to be 2-0 is crazy. I didn't see the end of the game for the Dodgers earlier today, but.
Complete game. I don't want to switch gears. I'll wait till you talk about the Dodgers, but I like a couple of things. One specific thing I like in this Dodgers series, which we can talk about when you're ready.
Yeah, tonight's pitchers are going to be Shane Bieber, the brother of Justin, and George Kirby.
Justin's brother.
Nice.
Yeah,
I just like throwing that in there.
Yeah, right. I
think there's a huge. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's just a huge letdown to have home field in this one. The Slay the mighty Yankees, and then you come in and you're immediately down 2-0. Like that's just a huge. I mean, clearly Game 3 is the biggest here, but for me, especially like not a real baseball guy, and from the outside looking in, I'm like, you got past the Yankees, and now it's 4 runs in 2 games against the Mariners. Like, what is going on? And is this really going to be blowing an opportunity to go to the World Series just like this? No disrespect to the Mariners, but that's how I look at it from kind of outside and looking at Toronto. So.
Well, yeah, everybody views it that way because the Mariners have never been to the World Series. So everybody's just like, okay, so obviously you guys suck because you're losing to the Mariners. But they do overlook the fact that the Mariners probably do have the most complete pitching staff in the league.
100%. Danny Fuller, where are you, Danny?
He'll
show up.
And the bat and the hitting is just magnificent too. Before, even when you guys got Suarez in the season, I said that's just adding on to what they already have. I said when I was looking when you guys played the Tigers earlier in the year, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a hard team to beat come playoff time. And as you progress through the months toward the playoffs, I was like, and I was saying, and you kept saying, "Oh, they're never going to catch the Astros." I said, "Yes, they are.
Well,
Astros are going to bend over in a minute." So yeah.
So the thing was when I was saying that is we hadn't got to the All-Star break, and I was so used to what the Mariners have done my entire life, not adult life, my whole existence is they do nothing at the All-Star break, right? They come out of the All-Star break forgetting how to play baseball, and then they also don't make any trades at the deadline. So you're just like, oh, cool. So we're going to get worse. Awesome. And so this year is a unicorn in the way that they decided to go and get 2 bats at the trade deadline. And that's why when we had this show after the trade deadline, I'm like, I don't even know what team this is. Like, I know they have Mariner logos, but this isn't the Mariners I've watched for 40 years. Like,
hey, shock the world. I consider today's game going to be just kind of the same as the last two. Shane Bieber's 6.75 ERA in 2.2 innings pitched in this. That dude is going to get shelled,
especially going against Kirby, because Kirby's a good pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't foresee that working out really well. Which awesome.
Yeah, I predict you're winning that game tonight. That's a no-brainer unless something happens, but let's not knock on wood on that one. To Keith's Dodgers-Brewers series. Dodgers won last night 5-1 to take the 2-0 series lead in the NLCS. What thoughts did you have on there, Keith, about the Dodgers?
The one thing I want every team in baseball to watch is the fact that the Dodgers let their starting pitchers pitch deep into games. 8 innings for Snell, which is that's like 2 complete games for him. And Yamamoto going a complete game in game 2. Pay attention. Everybody in baseball running organizations. The guys making the most money are making the most money for a reason, and you need to pitch them in the most important part of games. Come on. I mean, even Seattle and the Blue Jays in game 1, they yanked their starting pitchers fairly early. I think they threw 75. I don't know which one now, 75 and 80, I think, between the two.
Yeah.
That's not deep into a game. I'm sorry. I don't care what the inning is and what your script here on your page says. If your pitcher's pitching well, you leave them in the game.
And they don't. In fact, when you go a series ago, Game 5 of the Detroit series, both of our starters got pulled in the 6th.
Yeah.
And they both had plenty of gas in the tank.
Yeah.
And so it was funny because, B and I were texting back and forth, and we were both mad. We're like, what are they doing? Like, Now, 15 innings later, maybe it didn't matter, but in the moment, you're just like, what are we doing? Like, both these guys are absolutely dusting everybody. Why would you pull them out? Now, the bullpens showed up for both teams on that also. So, I mean, you can't be that mad.
Well,
someone's going to find
the run that was given up. The run that was given up, that was the ultimate run that was given up after they pulled Skubal. So it was like, dude.
But it was like 2 innings later, though.
But still, I mean, if he was still pitching and he wanted to pitch, he looked like he was pissed that he got pulled too.
Oh yeah.
And no matter what nobody says, I don't care about what the media says here. And it was a mutual. No, it wasn't. No. I'm sure Scooble had something to say to Hinch about that. Hey,
you know what
the hell,
for the most part,
because it's mutual because the
guys
camera was
want
on.
to get that ball up. That's it. I'm sorry, Bo. I didn't mean to step on you there.
Oh no! All I was saying was it was only mutual because the cameras were on.
Yeah.
Right.
most of the number one guys like Scooble do not want to come out of games. Now the problem is the rest of the league, other than 12 guys in baseball, are programmed to say, okay, here's a ball, and actually the first time they get in trouble, they're looking in the dugout for somebody to come and get them.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That you didn't see Yamamoto looking for somebody to come and get him at any point. Now he wasn't in that much trouble either, but still.
I mean, I always look at it as, if there is a specific matchup issue or your arm's dead or whatever,
well, that's different.
Right? But that's what I mean is I at least get that. Right. But when it's you have 75 pitches and it's the 6th, so you just have to come out. It's like, what are we doing?
Only because your script says this guy has to pitch the 6th inning. This guy has to pitch the 7th inning. This guy. It's the same thing with relief pitchers, right? When a guy comes in the 7th and just blows the team away on 5 pitches, and he comes out of the game because it says he's supposed to.
Yep.
This is not any way to play.
It's too analytical.
I missed the Nolan Ryan. Let me pitch 150, and then 3 days later pitch 140. And
the ball.
And maybe 2 complete games in both of those games.
Exactly.
Give me the ball till my face bleeds and I can punch the crap out of some 20-year-old kid. That's the way Nolan Ryan pitched. I love that.
There you go.
45.
And he did.
Did all those things. And get off my lawn.
Yes.
God damn it, get off my lawn.
Right.
I can't think of anybody that really charged the mound after that, though.
No, not on Nolan, that's for sure.
That's what I mean. Right? They're just like, you know what? I don't need to get beaned and then get my ass kicked on national television.
That's
you know what? It's
video.
cool. I'll take my base.
My favorite. One of the women who used to work for me, she loved Robin Ventura. She thought he was the cat's ass. And I sent her that video every single year that she worked for me. Every year.
Cat's ass.
Don't mess with the old guys.
The cat's ass. Okay.
I mean, he was that.
I have no idea what that means, by the way.
Well, it's not the right phrase, but it works in this scenario.
Metaphor.
Cat's meow. The cat's
the cat's meow is what I was thinking.
Meow.
I think I've heard cat's ass before.
I mean, they have asses if that's what we're debating.
Usually it's either that's the cat.
I agree with that. I don't know what's so thrilling about a cat's ass, but that's
so it's usually it's the cat's meow or it's I don't give a rat's ass. But I just like that you jammed them together.
Cats and ass.
Yeah.
Okay, you get to my age, you're lucky you put like 2 words in a row together that belong together. Not a bunch.
Well, when you do it and everyone else goes, yep, do what you meant all along.
Yes, sir. Moving up and down, I know it's time to stop talking because
there's the courtesy elder thing going on there.
Yes, yes, sir.
Because
You're
Ventura
right,
got beat up, the phrase works.
Yeah.
Cat's ass.
It's fantastic.
Speaking of cat's ass, the NCAA football top 25 came out. I believe it was Monday, somewhere around there. And your top 10 teams from 1 to 10 is Ohio State at 6-0, Miami at 5-0, Indiana at 6-0, Texas A&M at 6-0, Ole Miss at 6-0. Herb's Alabama team is at number 6, 5-1. Texas Tech is 6-0. Oregon is 5-1. Georgia 5-1, and LSU 5-1. Pretty much agree with that top 10 there, fellas.
There's not much I can disagree with there. Actually, I mean, behind them, I mean, Oklahoma deserved to fall as far as they fell. BYU is not good enough yet. Hasn't proved they're good enough. After this week, they got the holy war against Utah, so we'll see about BYU proving itself. But the teams that are just outside the top 10, I can't make an argument for being ahead of anybody here. But there's some big games. This is one of the best slates of the entire college football season, as far as I'm concerned, with some great matchups up and down the top 25 and even outside of the top 25. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to the Utes playing. The Utes. Yeah,
Utes.
Let's see. Yeah, Indiana. Wow. Indiana's just balling out right now. They played a really complete game.
Against Oregon,
Yeah, against Oregon.
They even made some mistakes and still pulled that one out.
Yep.
That intercept, that pick six, you thought would have sunk them, but instead, to overcome that on the road, that was a huge victory. I think you got to give them respect for that.
Yes.
Nobody mentions Notre Dame being as high as they are, despite losing their two best games, and then going. But
that's what you get for being tardy, Robert. We've already talked about how awesome the Mariners are.
Notre Dame will get in if they win out, especially with as well as USC's playing. That's a big game for them this weekend, obviously.
Yeah.
Indiana, though, back to Indiana. This team is probably better than the team that snuck up on people last week. They're better at the quarterback position. I think they're deeper and they're better in the trenches than they were. They'd get blown out. That's why they got beat by Ohio State, and that's why they got blown out basically in the playoffs, because they weren't big in the trenches, and I think they're much better there. This is a team. If they win a national championship, it is like one of the biggest stories in college football since I've been alive, and that's a long time. This team has a second worst winning percentage all time in college football history to Wake Forest, like 426. This is a huge story. And Kirk Cignetti is the best coach in the country.
Yeah, I agree with that.
As we speak.
Yeah, as we speak, yeah. I mean, well, look at it. If he does make it and they do win a national championship, do you think he stays there or does he go to another school?
I think he stays. He's 64 years old. He's got a good contract. They'll likely give him an extension to keep him from looking elsewhere. But I think what he's done here, and there's resources here. It isn't like this team doesn't have money to spend and recruiting potential. They do, and he's shown it. I think he stays here, which may not be the popular opinion, but I think he stays. Obviously, schools like Penn State are going to be all over him,
for sure.
but I think he stays here. I think he's built something, and winning here. I mean, he becomes. He'd go to Penn State and revive Penn State, win a national championship. That'd be great. It'd be much bigger if he does it here in Indiana. Much bigger.
Isn't Matt Rule one of the candidates for Penn State, though?
Matt Rule is because of his ties there. He's an alumnus. The AD hired him at Temple. So there's some ties there. But listen, I love Matt Rule. But Matt Rule's really James Franklin in, different shaped body and a beard because he's also doesn't beat top 25 teams. He hasn't he hasn't coached at places like Penn State. He was playing teams when he was at Temple and Baylor and the first couple of years at Nebraska that weren't so good. He was losing the top 25 teams, but he's got 3 wins. He's like 3-24, something like that. So that's the problem with getting rid of Franklin. Who's going to be available that's going to be any better as far as bringing you to the next level? And again, I'm not a big James Franklin fan. I'm not saying he shouldn't be gone, but there's not. It's not like there's a slam dunk candidate here to just say he's going to be better.
Yeah. Did they name
clearly hit a wall.
Did they name a coach yet? Did they name the intern coach yet for?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it matters at this point, right?
It doesn't probably.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I know that, but I mean, yeah. It probably won't matter for the rest of the year. I don't know if they're going to be ready, looking for until the end of the year.
They got to go to Iowa this week too and play an Iowa team that plays good defense, good special teams. That's not an easy place to go win. So
loss.
They may very well lose. I'm trying to see who
doesn't keep it up. Loss.
I can't remember who the interim was, but he's just that. I mean, he's going to be a caretaker. This guy's not going to be a candidate for the job.
Harry Smith.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was elevated from within the team, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other teams on here that surprised you besides Indiana? Yeah,
in the
most
top
of
10.
Texas. Yeah.
Listen, Texas Tech is getting their money's worth, and
for sure.
they spent a bunch of money. And again, I got called out for. I keep saying their $55 million is well spent. It's not like nobody else is spending money. I don't mean that, right? But they finally invested in this team, and they're getting really good play on the defensive side of the football where they were lacking. And this is a good football team. That Big 12, the Big 12 may not be as good as the SEC and the Big 10, but it's entertaining. I can tell you that. There's a lot of good teams out there.
Yeah. And before the season started, you could have picked 4 or 5 different teams to win and made a good justification for all of them. But Texas Tech is one of the first teams that come out when they started revenue sharing to say, hey, this is how much we're putting in the football budget, just so everybody knows. We're serious about it. Look, Oklahoma, Texas have been gone now for a year. Like, this is our time to make a move. So, I applaud them for it.
They spent it well.
That guaranteed spot, winning the Big 12 carries a lot of weight for them. So it's a chance where you might only get like 2 teams from the Big 12. Was last year only 1. So, hey, this is my path. Let me get in. No, I applaud what they're doing, man. Even when the backup quarterback came in, against Utah, he still balled out. So they put together a good program.
That's probably their best win to date. I mean, that's going to, that's what people are going to point out. They really haven't played the schedule, and Alabama plays or Georgia plays, and they're not gonna unless they move to the SEC. I mean, that's just a fact of life. But you can only play the teams in front of you, and they're playing really well.
Right. They're also starting from a different point than everybody else. It wouldn't be fair to take like a Texas Tech at this point and throw them into the SEC or Big 10 because you're starting from further behind. So to me, I give a lot of respect for what they're doing in the Big 12 for that reason. Like, hey, you were in the same pack as all these other teams. You decided, let's go for it. Let's spend more. And now you're at the head of the pack. I mean, that's like you said, that's all you can do. You can't be faulted for what's in front of you in the Big 12. It is what it is. But they definitely seem like the class of that conference.
As a certain fat bastard said once, sorry, you are what your record says you are, and they're 6-0.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What's funny is I don't know who's good and who's not. I still don't know because Alabama gets whacked by Florida State in week 1, and we think, oh, Florida, got to go, and then they've lost 3 in a row now.
All DC games too. That's
so is Alabama. And Alabama has a nice streak going and playing well. Beats a tough Vandy team at home, but are they that good? Is Oregon as good as we thought they were when they went to beat Penn State on the road? I don't know. They just lost Indiana at home, a place they would never lose to in other years. So I just don't know who's good and who's not right now. It's really weird. Been a weird year.
I think NIL and the transfer portal has just evened it up a lot more than people realize. Like with the Indiana, you can get a guy or like Pavia at Vandy and go from terrible to, hey, we're pretty good and we can get up and bite anybody any week. Plus, for the top teams, you don't have that depth that you once did. So now, losing your left tackle, before you used to have 2 5-stars sitting behind him anyway. Now you've got some freshmen, and now he's making his first start, and you're like, good luck out there, kid. So I think that's what it's just even up. People aren't waiting anywhere to go, hey, year 3, like what Ty Simpson's doing in Alabama, you just don't see that often, waiting your time,
Yeah, I've had to eat my words on Ty Simpson since you're here, Herb. I'll do it in person because I ripped him early in the year because I said, what kid sticks around? He's a 5th-year senior, hasn't played a down of football. You can't be any good if you're still at the same school you started with and haven't played. And I couldn't be more wrong. He's played great football. Maybe the best quarterback in the country right now. So he's playing well. I think him and Carson Beck are going to be are neck and neck for the Heisman at this very moment. So we'll see how.
You don't have Archie in there?
No, Archie's moved up to 20th.
Yes.
No. Well, I just know that that terrible loss to USC, Michigan got booted completely out of the top 25. I don't even know if they're in the top 30. It's just that. But on the flip side of that, my Navy team got through a game, won, and they're undefeated right now. So let's hope maybe they can get in the top 25.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Michigan is pairing a championship level defense with a freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just a tough. Your timelines are just 2 different timelines. We have a heralded freshman, Russell and ours, but we were like, look, Ty's going to be the guy because you'd rather have that experience going in there. So I think their timelines are just different, because clearly the Michigan defense is there, but Underwood's going to make freshman mistakes. It's not his fault. It's just, Michigan has not done well with the quarterback position lately.
They have not at all.
I'm over here as a Husky fan. I'm just like, hey, we're playing pretty good.
You guys are.
They can't sleep.
And that's the next team that Michigan has to play.
Can't sleep on Washington. That's one of the out of the top 25 matchups I like this weekend. That is a sleeper game because Washington has played good football even against Ohio State. I mean, they didn't get themselves blown out, and they probably played as good as anybody.
They just couldn't put it in the end zone.
Yeah,
but I mean, the thing is they hung with them. They were able to move the ball, do all of those things. They got really conservative once they got within, the 5. I don't know why, but they just decided not to use the offense that got them all the way down the field. Right. And, and then they couldn't put it in. They settled for field goals. You can't settle for field goals against Ohio State. Like, you just can't do it. So,
again, that reminds me of Kentucky and Georgia last year. Like, sometimes if you're the underdog, be creative, do something. Like, you're going for the knockout punch. You can't get down there and play. Because what do you have to lose? Okay, you try this play, it doesn't work. You're probably losing anyway. So, you know what I mean? Don't change up and get conservative.
Even with all that stuff said, Jed Finch is a really good football coach. He turned around Arizona when they were garbage when he got in there, and he's come into a tough situation in Washington where they lost 21, I think, out of 22 starters after that run.
I don't know why, but I do root for. I have no idea what happened to the previous guy at Washington, but I do.
He's coaching somewhere in the southeast. I don't know.
Never heard of him because I like Washington. So
it was actually just a fuzz worse. We lost 24 or 22 of 24.
22 of 24. My math's not that good either. So,
So it was kind of rough. So realistically, for us to have played good ball, I'm happy with, because when I saw everybody leave, I'm just like, we're gonna be kind of bad for a minute. Like we're gonna look like Wazoo all of a sudden. Shout out to the Cougs.
You're already on the path to
Cougs
winning.
I agree.
Well, I'm looking at some of the lines for next week in college. Where they got 6.5 point favorites for Michigan. I don't know where they got that. I don't know where they pulled what ass they pulled that out of, but I'm not seeing
it's
that.
The cat's ass that they pulled it out of.
Yeah, there you go.
Very clearly.
Where all bad lines come from. Football lines. I don't know about other kind of lines. I don't know about that. They're playing. Oh, they're playing home. I mean, you're right. That's probably a little much. That's a 3-point game.
Yeah, I would think so. I think Washington's going to hang there. The thing about Michigan is they're not a team that pulls away. You're leaning on your running game and defense a lot, so it's not like you're really putting teams away. And is Haynes still banged up this week too? Or I know he left last game.
Who's that?
Justice Haynes. Is he banged up still?
I think he'll be back in here for that. I haven't heard any injury report news for this coming up. So
ass.
The cat's ass.
Who knew that was going to be the best story of the day?
Is that the Tanner? You got to listen closer. It's ass. ASS. Come on. I think that's Tanner.
Cat's ass. Oh yeah. That puts the in unprofessional. But anyway, okay, let's go out to the NFL, and let me ask you guys a question. And I know we're all grown ass men in here, and that we follow football a certain way, and we don't blame the refs for a lot of stuff. But what did you think about the Kansas City Detroit game?
I saw a lot of bad refereeing this week. Quite frankly, and I don't blame referees. I said this. I'm glad my team won because there were some bad calls in that game as well. But just because I say I never blame my team for losing on the referees. That doesn't mean there isn't bad refereeing, and there needs to be better, and it affects the games. And we've seen it way too often this year, especially. I think, and I think that was a horribly refereed game. I mean, again, the Lions didn't play well enough to win, quite frankly. But they didn't get I don't think they got a fair shake as well at the same time.
So, I mean, the only thing I can say is at least there wasn't a crazy amount of flags against Detroit, right? Like it's one thing when it's bad and it's really lopsided.
Yeah.
At least in that one, it wasn't crazy lopsided. It was just bad in general. But that's not unique to that. We were talking about the Oregon game, and somehow they missed this call. So I just sent you a video there. I don't know how you missed this call. This is a ridiculous one.
All right.
Gonna be a back shoulder throw. Oh yeah, that's gotta be called.
Oh, I remember watching this. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching that.
It's their first of the ball game. There's no yardage penalty for that infraction. It's still fourth down.
Yeah,
And,
I remember watching that. And my favorite part is the DB getting up and going, "Yeah, I locked him down." I mean,
he was locked down. There's no doubt. And I mean, obviously that ends that drive because that was a third down play. And ultimately it didn't matter, right? They come back, they win, it is what it is. But I mean, in that moment, you're like, how do you not call that? Because it's not like you were in a crowd and refs couldn't see it or whatever. I mean, you are one-on-one, the ball's headed that way. Every ref is looking there.
Yeah.
How do you miss grabbing the inside of the shoulder pad and pulling the guy down? You didn't catch the ball.
To tell you the truth, the drive that Oregon got a touchdown on was kind of referee aided too. There was a couple of bad calls on that drive that aided them to get that touchdown. So, I mean, fortunately, Indiana overcame that.
Exactly.
And like you say, it's like Dan Campbell says, if you don't put the referees in the game unless you do your job. So if you do your job, you don't have to worry about the referees, which the Lions, they messed up in the certain areas. But it's like the catch that Kelsey supposedly had. How damn well that hit the ground. His hand was even off the ball when it happened. So, and then he got away with a holding call, egregious holding call. And then there was the whole goal line incident for the Lions that we didn't call New York, but New York said that they were called or opposite way around, whatever they told Dan Campbell something opposite of what happened. So, I mean, are you trying to cover up stuff? Are you just lying blatantly? Because you get away with it.
Kelsey's got big hands. I mean, Taylor kind of confirmed that, I think, the fact that he's got
I don't need to hear that too much.
I'm just sure it means
plus
something
Casey,
else. I don't know.
Well, because plus
That's
Casey
TMI,
ran the line right after that one, too. And certain teams have that signal they give. I remember Devontae Smith for the Eagles like that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I didn't catch this. Let's hurry up.
And what added insult onto that is the Lions got caught with 12 guys on the field when they did that. Yeah. So I was like, well, damn, this is just not working out here.
Which is usually a sure sign. Okay, they're running a little bit too quickly.
I think you guys actually had 13, if I remember right. I think you had 13 guys out there.
The penalties on the 12th guy, the 13th guy is clear. So
you got too many on the field anyway, so what the hell?
Yeah. I think some of it's a bad combination of bad play and bad refereeing because there's like a flag on every other play. It feels like in some of these games. Buffalo and New England 2 Sundays ago was there was like 25 penalties in that game
because the announcer started mentioning it.
It's hard to even watch after a while,
So
enjoy your team.
I'll jump on that one. So yes, you can't let any of those things get to you because the problem is if you respond right after the play, you smack him in the face, whatever. And of course that wasn't Mahomes, that was Juju. But if you do that during the game, it's a 15-yarder. You're going to get a fine. You may or may not get bounced. Probably get bounced in the league today. You do it after the game, and now it's suspensions, stuff like that. So it's one thing to already be a problem, hurting your team 15 yards, whatever, maybe getting bounced. It's something totally different to now you're going to miss an entire game, right? So, I mean, you can't do that stuff. And Dan Campbell actually came out,
Good for him
today. Right after that,
Yeah, and he's like, he knows what he did. He knows you can't do it. It's a good kid. It'll be a learning experience, and it will, right? Because he's not making good money. He's making roughly $70K a game for a game check. I would bet that not only, I mean, obviously he's losing a game check for getting suspended, but he's probably going to get a fine upwards of $50K. So,
but are you saying he's saying should he have just shook Mahomes' hand, not just smacking Juju? If he just doesn't shake Mahomes' hand and just walks off, then that's two different things, though.
If he's saying there's no slap, though. If there's no punch, if he slaps his hand.
No, but you can not shake Mahomes' hand and then walk off. You don't have to. One doesn't like direct with the other. If I don't shake Mahomes' hand and I walk this way,
right?
To me, he's saying, is that bad sportsmanship? Just not. Yeah, it was the slap. I don't think the slap is debatable. That was just dumb.
What I kind of saw in the whole situation is that he was going up to Mahomes and his head turned because he saw Juju and Juju started talking stuff to him. Yeah. And that he kind of did a little, elbow out there and just went toward him. And then that's when the whole escalation started. And that was another penalty that wasn't called. Juju hitting him in the back.
That one was big. Yeah. That one was big. That being said, Rob, all of that is unsportsmanlike. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you can't let these guys get in your head. The clock hits 000. It's a wrap. You're on to next week already. And so, you go shake hands. You say, hey, you know what? Good game. Hate you. And you keep it pushing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I like Brian Branch too. I had the same sentiment that DC said on the podium. He said, I love the guy, but he knows he can't do that. And that's just, there's no excuse for that. We don't do that in our organization. And the fact that he's a rookie, he's on a rookie contract. He's not a rookie, but he's on a rookie contract. Kind of tells me that if you keep doing stuff like that, dude, because he's gotten 13 fines, and I think that's not just him. I think the NFL is coming after him unfairly for some stuff too at the same time, because I see other players do the same thing. They don't get fined as much as he gets. They may get fined, but this dude gets like paychecks taken away from him when he does stuff. So
the one thing that they do, the league in general, is if you have a habit of getting them, they start watching for you. And, that was one of the things that always made me mad about DK is he always had like a couple of ones that were egregious and they were drive killers. And he made me mad for, years here. But the problem is because he would do that, he'd get the other just ticky-tack ones because they were already tuned in on his nonsense. And they're like, well, that's pretty close, but we're staring at it. So we have to call it.
The Draymond Green principle of refereeing.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and just to add to that too, I understand he was in a locker room and he said that he apologized for being a child in that situation, but at the same time, dude, then he goes to, they're bullying me, dude. This is football. Yeah. Don't say that after you just said that you apologize for being a child. Now you're acting like a child. What are you bullying me? Oh my God.
And the thing is,
just sit down, dude.
Like if you come out and say stuff like that, every receiver's like, got you.
Yes.
Because I know what it is. It's the same thing they used to do to DK here, right? They're like, I can get in your head and cost your team a 15-yarder in a drive. Cool. I'm going to be yapping and bumping and kind of holding whatever, because I know you're going to lose your mind right after the whistle. And so as soon as you tip your hat to being sensitive in any way,
that's it.
Opposite side of you is going like, okay, buckle up.
Can't be thin skin, but has anybody ever chirped more and done less than Juju in the history of the NFL? Has anybody chirped as much as him without doing much on the field? Ever?
Well, there's a couple, but he's the most recent one.
He's definitely up there.
Yeah, he's the most.
He rode that back up to AB role to like several good contracts afterwards. So
I mean, you probably remember this name, Bosworth. Did a lot of that.
Well, I'm thinking about I'm probably taking more recently in receivers and guys that stunk on my team. So
even though I didn't condone the behavior, but I was with a lot of people say he deserved that bloody nose. Somebody was going to get him sooner or later because he just talks too much smack and he ain't done nothing out there. He's just somebody's water boy on the field, and he all those TikToks he does too are.
I mean. Dude. There is a gap between deserving it and actually doing something about it, right? Because unfortunately, it costs you a ton of money. It costs your team. Like it does so many bad things that the bloody nose doesn't make up for. All of a sudden, that's a $200,000 bloody nose. I hope you are stoked about it because it stopped bleeding before he left the field, and you're going to feel that in your wallet for a minute.
Mm-hmm. No, like I said, I didn't condone what he did, but I'm just saying a lot of people on Facebook who follow the NFL that aren't Lion fans even.
Yeah.
They were saying, yeah, he deserves that anyway because he talks too much crap. He don't do anything. So,
Well,
but anyway.
I'd probably harbor hold those bad feelings because Kobe Myers got let go to bring in Juju Schuster over about $2 million roughly, and he never did a thing all the time he was at Foxborough.
So Juju is a great number 2.
Right.
Like if he's your number 2 target, he can be the dude. Soon as he has to be the number 1 guy, he disappears. Like that, he evaporates from your roster somehow.
He wasn't even the 7th best receiver on the Patriots roster of a roster of horrible wide receivers. He was.
Yeah, he played bad for you.
Oh,
yeah. Like really bad.
I mean, he really hasn't been good since Pittsburgh. And like you said, he was in the number 2 role there.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the first thing they did was ask him to be a number 1, and he can't do. And there's no shame in being a number 2. Some of these guys, I don't know why, but.
Well, so
he was just bad.
So the only part of that I disagree with is he actually did play really well his first stint in KC. He wasn't there very long, but like his first stint there, he did actually play really, really well.
He throws a good game in there here and there now, Overall, though.
And considering the fact that who his quarterback is, A, and B, the fact that they didn't have anybody as a legitimate threat receiver. Didn't they went to the Super Bowl that year, didn't they? Did they win the Super Bowl?
I think they won that year.
Yeah, I think he's got. Yeah, I think he won the Super Bowl. He's got a ring. Yeah. So I mean, he was. Yeah. When Juju first came on the scene, I mean, I liked him, but then he did all that crap after he got out of Pittsburgh. He's being ignorant. Well, actually, it started when it was in Pittsburgh. To tell you the truth, because that's the reason why they got rid of him.
Well, so that's actually where I was going with it is. The Steelers have this real knack for getting absolute head cases as receivers.
Yes.
And kudos to Tomlin. He figures out how to kind of make them work until they are ready to just mentally explode. And then they get him out of town. And then, man, they just go destroy other rosters. It's actually kind of funny. Like
George Pickens, we're talking about you. We're waiting. So
well, he already had his little spat on the sidelines already this year. Let's see how he can continue the rest of the year without doing that.
Hey,
I think as long as CD is out, he'll be okay because he's the number 1. But as soon as he gets moved back down, I think that's when it's going to happen.
That's the thing is if he gets his touches, he actually doesn't care about winning. Right. He's
true.
Similar to like Diggs, right? Like Diggs doesn't care about winning. He wants his touches. Right. So as long as they get their touches,
still is.
Everything is cool. AJ Brown, right? He was mad. They were winning. He's like, I was not getting touches. It's like, you won the game, man.
Well, the whole team ought to tell him to shut up because the best player on the team is getting 11 touches and 14 touches. That's crazy. That's just nuts.
So, I mean, unfortunately, there's just a lot of those guys that are just head cases.
Yeah. Speaking of head cases, Tua. I don't like saying his last name.
Literally.
Tua was up there throwing people under the bus left and right.
Everybody.
Except
himself.
Except Tua, right?
He was doing this.
Yeah. And then he decides he's going to come out and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for throwing everybody under the bus. We don't have to play as a team, whatever." Anyway, I think you have a clip of this, don't you, Bo?
It is right there. Yeah, this is him walking back that statement, which is funny because he still doesn't really include himself in the leadership role. And if you remember the quote, talking about player-only meetings. Which means coaches and stuff aren't there. This is ran by players, for players, like it's players only meetings. So for him to be pointing everywhere, but here, like he's got a C on his shirt, right?
Yeah, and you're the quarterback, so come on, let's go.
I think it's the clown.
This team of the Miami Dolphins, the comments that had been said. I would say I've made a mistake, and I'm owning up to that right now. I've talked to guys on the team about it, talked to the leaders about it, and that they know my heart. They know that the intent was right, but no matter the intent, the intent can be right, but when things get misconstrued or however the media wants to portray it, that leaves a void of silence and a lot of questions for the guys on our team. Now, being 1-5, we talk a lot about, all right, we got to get this going. We got to get this going. Come in excited to go to work. Forget about the noise. And I feel like I just added on to that for our guys. For myself, I got to look at myself as the leader, protecting the team. I don't feel like I did that to the best of my abilities. I felt like I let the emotions of the game get to me after the game. And, that's something that I can learn from as a leader on this team. And what happens in-house should be protected. And none of that should have gotten out. And so want to publicly apologize about that. Want to move forward. And now want to focus on the Cleveland Browns.
It's like a hostage video.
Yeah, we're about a year away from a darkness retreat, and
I mean, who wrote that
That's
for?
perfect, Mike.
Did Mike McDaniel
I
write?
about fell asleep. Yeah, I don't.
Not worth talking to it. That's funny. So I'm confused. Did he make a mistake, or did the media misconstrue what he said?
Clearly, the media. It was all the media.
He started pointing more fingers, and you're just like, dude, just accept the fact
I'm
that
out of fingers here.
right?
Jesus.
It's like you can't go out there. His first statement made it sound like it was McDaniel and the leadership, and then he's like, "Oh, but it's a player-only meeting." It's like, okay, well, they have nothing to do with that then, and it's just like, guys, you gotta take some accountability. You're one of the leaders in that clubhouse. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. It was it's been funny. That team's such a disaster.
I'm not usually in favor of firing guys in the middle of the season because I don't think it does much good. But in this case, things are off the rails so bad that I think McDaniel needs to go like tomorrow.
Well, he's lost control completely of that team.
Obviously, right. And send Tool with him. If that's the way he feels,
And Mr. Wardell, okay. Can you stop beating that over the head? You're in game 3 right now. Come on.
Game 5.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of guys that potentially get fired, that's on that one down there in the bottom too.
Who, Robert Wardell?
Well, I mean,
sorry, Robert.
You talking about Mr. Tomlin?
Oh no. So on the power ranking slide there, I actually have.
Oh, okay. Bring that up. Yeah.
So this was a list I put together of guys that were probably on the hot seat. Obviously, Callahan already got fired. Cool. But McDaniel, he's right there.
Sonia's not going to like number 3.
Yeah, I don't think that one's true anymore. I didn't update this after I made it. Canales, I think, being 3-0 at home probably saved his job right there.
Yeah.
I think Brian Jabol's job will be saved too a little bit.
3 and 4, got themselves.
With that Jets organization, I don't know.
I don't think you're firing Aaron Glenn after one season unless he doesn't win a game, which is
you wouldn't think that, but this is the Jets
on the table.
Yeah, I know. About.
The fact that they're over is it means there's a chance.
Keep hiring off defensive guys when you got quarterbacks that need all the help they can get.
We talked about this morning. That was wild to me. And then Tyrod Taylor's your backup for your plan for the Jets. So
when's the last time the Jets hired an offensive-minded head coach? Bruce Coslett is the last guy I can think of, and some people probably are too young to remember who Bruce Coslett is, for crying out loud. I can't remember anybody else.
Yeah, it's pretty much all been DCs.
Yeah.
They're like, it didn't work this time, but next time it'll work.
I mean, if you're going to keep doing it, at least bring Rex back, because at least that was funny to watch.
It was entertaining, yes.
Yeah.
Rex.
At least make it so it's a good watch, because now it's just terrible.
I mean, Aaron Glenn does have some good dance moves. But anyway, But this is just a culmination of a good coach being in a bad spot. Like I said, Dan Campbell, when he went to Detroit, he didn't win his first game until after losing 11.
Sure.
So I'm not saying that this should be the same, same chemistry for Aaron Glenn to get to 11 games and then finally win one. I hope he wins one before that. In fact, they play the Carolina Panthers next in New York, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, if he gets a couple of wins, I didn't think they were going to do all that good this year anyway.
No,
you got to change the culture in that locker room. That whole team is just off.
I didn't have them worse than the Saints, though.
Yeah.
That's probably the big thing for me is the Saints are devoid of talent. The Jets at least have some things that you're like, okay, like they shouldn't be a good team, but they're gonna do a couple of things, and then you watch them play, and they're like, yeah, they're not going to do anything.
Right. They're basically hoping for defensive scores in a lot of these games, to get them over. Except with like the Pittsburgh, then you torch them. So like, there's probably a little hope to start the year.
Yeah.
And then there's no consistency game to game. So I don't know.
Let's see. Zach Taylor. I thought he should have been going. Him and Kevin Stefanski.
Those
I'm not giving him credit. I mean, Robert talks about giving Taylor leeway because of Burrow's injury, but I mean, they didn't go to the playoffs last year with Joe Burrow having a tremendous year, one of the great years ever.
So
defense has been terrible forever.
Here's my issue with Stefanski and Taylor is you have two organizations that have set them up for failure. I mean, Zach Taylor is trying to coach three guys to play all three phases of the game because they're like, yeah, so you don't get a defense. Your special teams is going to be terrible. Oh, you know what? We're not even going to give you an offensive line. I hope these three guys can just win games for you. So, I mean, I'm not a Zach Taylor fan, but there's not a lot of guys that are going to succeed with no defense. And then Stefanski, I mean, just in his time there, he's 10 quarterbacks in?
Well, yeah. I mean, he almost went to an AFC championship game, if we remember right, with a guy they cut loose in Baker Mayfield. So
yeah, but that's not him.
Plus, he made it playoffs 2 years ago, did he? With the guy
with Joe Flacco, which they cut again.
Yeah.
Or they traded to Cincinnati, which is
to Zach Taylor, though, Bo, the same guys who put him in this situation are
what is going on in the AFC North?
They're not going to raise their hand and say, he's going to get fired.
Right.
Yes.
I think that's the point, though. Both those coaches go, Well, I was just say both front offices got to go too.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, and realistically,
he's going to get fired because of the front office because he hired Gabriel. He drafted Gabriel, and of course the ownership, whatever they want to say, they got Shador. So, and they're going to be bumping heads the whole time. It's going to be an awkward conversation every time those two talk because I want my guy to play. Well, this guy's better. I want him to play because I was the one that drafted him. But I'm the owner of the team. Who's going to go? Not the owner of the team is obviously going to be the coach. So I wonder if that happens, though. What happens to Dylan? Does he stay? Or do they make a package where they trade him somewhere? Because I don't think that owner likes Dylan.
So that probably depends on whoever they get in as the next coach. I think the two coaches on here that are intriguing as far as if they do get fired, Stefanski and Harbaugh. Those are the two guys that they will step directly into another head coaching job. Every other one of those guys, best case, is being a coordinator again before they get another shot, if they get one at all.
I agree. Yeah, Jonathan Gannon, they go and beat Green Bay this weekend. You can take that name off that list. John Harbaugh, they've been wanting to fire him for the last 5 years, and the only thing that's saving his job is Lamar because that's the only thing that's saving because he makes too many bad. If you ever watch some of these games, he makes some pretty bad in-game decisions. Sometimes it's like, really, dude. And they manage to pull stuff out, and sometimes they lose by a field goal because he does something stupid. The fans been looking for him to be gone for about the last 5 years, so we'll see how that works out for him.
Well, I mean, the two times they got bounced from the playoffs the last 2 years, they forget that they are a running team.
Yep.
They're just like, oh, yeah, we're just not going to do that. It's like, that is actually what you guys do well. So, yeah, I mean, and there's been plenty of those moments. Now you're seeing ball security issues, which are coaching points. So, I mean, you're seeing a lot of coaching issues with that team. So if there was ever a year that it could happen, this does feel like one of those. But yeah, guys like Gannon, Dable, I don't think those guys get another shot.
No, they're one and done.
McDaniel will be a coordinator again, no question.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So will Dable.
Yeah, Dable probably would.
Mhm.
But never head coach. No.
Yeah.
Glenn, if he gets fired, he'll go back to being a coordinator somewhere.
NBC. Yeah.
The only guy besides the two you mentioned, I would say gets another shot. Possibly would be Zach Taylor, but I don't think the other guys have any shot. And Harbaugh, as much as guys might be down on him, if he wants a job next year, he'll have one.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Well,
But
and Zach
he may
Taylor,
not
I
want
think,
one.
would. I think Zach Taylor would, but I think he'd be a coordinator again before he got
Yeah, I do too.
his next shot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do too.
Speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, they had a trade between them earlier before last week with Joe Flacco going to Cincinnati. And obviously, there's somebody in the AFC North that did not appreciate that. Can you remove that? Yeah. Oh, let me see. Hold on. All right, there we go. We got it. Okay. All right. So this is what Tomlin had to say about that whole situation.
Yes, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feeling.
Doesn't he have any things to worry about in Pittsburgh, this guy?
Well, I mean, they did specifically ask him.
Somebody asked him. He didn't.
I would
I'm
just
sure he
said
didn't
no
just say-
comment, though. I'm not going to comment on another team's situation. I mean, I
Well,
like Mike Tomlin, but I'm not answering that question.
the thing that's funny is if you would have asked everybody on the panel about a trade, everybody'd be like, yeah, you're not trading somebody in the division.
No, but we're getting paid. We're getting paid for this to say that.
Wait, we're getting paid?
Say that, Brian? I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it
Bo
was.
sent me
Checks in
solo
the mail.
questions today.
I'm sorry. I
That's all.
thought you guys are all good.
Checks in the mail.
Actually, I went through this. I owe Brian money already for the rest of the year so far.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, though. Like every time we ever talk about trades, the first thing we negate a trade on is like, oh, that's within the division. They're not going to do that. And then you're like, well, that's in the conference. That's a little lower down the list. Like you want to send somebody to the opposite conference, whatever. The Browns are like, you know what? We're the Browns. We're all about shooting ourselves in the foot. So I actually did appreciate what Tomlin said there because he's like, why would you send that in the division for a position that they are decimated at? And really, they didn't get anything for him.
You should just listen. You think? Listen, I know. Good Bill Belichick and bad Belichick never answers that question. Guaranteed.
He never answers any question.
Yeah, he will. He's on the
We're on
road.
Cleveland.
Why? He's got nothing to gain by answering that question at all. So he should just be quiet. Worry about your own team.
He also doesn't respect the Browns or.
Well, we know
So
that.
it's like, you know what? I'm answering that.
Maybe I got to give the rivalry there a little, room to breathe. But
That's a cat's ass right there.
Yeah.
let Aaron Rodgers answer that question.
Yeah. No. I will say this though. I probably
You know what
would
would have
also
been
say
funny
no
though?
comment.
If somebody
I
was in
agree
the
with
back
that.
trying to be hilarious as media, and he asked that question, "Why would you trade him to Cleveland?" Somebody should just shout out, "Because it's Cleveland." That would have made sense to me.
Right.
Okay.
Well, did I not pick? I got to pick. Jeez, did I miss? I think I missed last week again. Jesus,
Did you?
I might have. Everything else is on ESPN. I got to go to CBS for this. I'm
If
glad
it
you
makes you
said
feel
that.
better, Rob, I've clawed my way back into second place.
Yeah.
That's because I didn't make any
Yeah.
picks, apparently.
I'm in fifth in both of them, in the college and the pros.
I'll do it. I'll do it before the night's out,
Did
Rob.
better last week, though. Did better last week. But this week, I mean,
It doesn't.
I had a good week last week too. Damn, I should have made my picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were one of the few people that got a bunch of them right last week, that would have been helpful for this one.
Probably.
Well, that will bring us to the end of this show. Everybody, great being with you guys for the Unprofessional Sports Show. Sorry, and feel better out there, James. He couldn't be on the show because he was not feeling well. Feel better, man. We missed you. Hopefully, you'll be back on next week. And we will be back on Friday night with Friday with the fellas. Hopefully, James is well enough by then to be on that show. And then, of course, on Saturday morning, we do have the debate show. And on Sunday, the big football show. And, of course, Bo has his shows going on at 6 a.m. your time, right? 7 a.m. your time? 7 a.m. your time. Yep. 7 a.m. your time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard.
If you are in the Pacific Northwest for our Pick'em show, Crucible Brewing in Everett. My guest this week, we're still confirming it, but should be one of the Rydell helmet reps.
Whoa.
So.
Oh, okay, cool. And you're doing your fantasy show. I mean, your Pick'em show tomorrow, right? Yeah.
That's what that's for.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Cool. Oh, all right. Riddle. All right. Well, then, everybody have yourself a good rest of your evening. See you later.